Welcome back to Tech Talks from Commercial Baking. I'm your host, Maddie Lambert. In this episode, sponsored by Reading Bakery Systems, I'm speaking with Sam Palatini, Director of Cookie, Cracker, and Pet Food, and we are discussing innovations with Wirecut machines. Sam, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you, Maddie, and thank you for allowing me to talk about my favorite subject.
This is your favorite subject. I love to hear that. So, okay, as you know, we're here to discuss the WCX Wirecut machine specifically. And I want to start off by talking about the machine's versatility, because of course, this machine can be used in just about any cookie application. But can you describe some of the capabilities that it has with multi-doughs or doughs with fillings?
Yeah, when we developed this machine, we focused on what types of products we could make. One of them, of course, we have to do is the standard baked cookie, the one that you see. I call them the belly stuffing cookies, stuff that you buy in a package and you eat them. Then we looked at it and said, okay, let's not forget the gourmet style cookies, the ones with the high fat content, the large inclusions, the ones that are very decadent that people are starting to buy more and more, mostly impulse buying, thankfully. And of course, we could do the two dough cookies. We kind of segue into filled bars. They're either breakfast bars or fig bars, biscotti. And one of the favorite ones we added is the encapsulation. We are able to encapsulate a filling of sorts, whether it be chocolate, pudding, jelly, so forth. So those are what our wire cooks could do. Now, knowing this, not every baker needs to make those products the first day, but they need to be able to make them somewhere along the life cycle of the equipment. So that's one of the things we were fortunate to do comes to the team, and I'm very confident the machine we provide out there is the best one on the market for all these applications.
Absolutely. And it's nice to hear that this machine can handle my favorite cookie, the one with all the inclusions that you were mentioning. I am the
Nice,
one that is buying those
the nice
cookies.
3-4 ounce chocolate chip cookie
Oh,
with
yeah, big
inclusions.
time.
Oh yeah, those are nice.
You mentioned bar products, and I want to take a moment to focus on those specifically because we're seeing a lot of momentum in the breakfast and the protein bar categories. So, can you tell me about the wire cut machine's capabilities when it comes to cutting and crimping bars?
What we've done is add a feature to the wire cut to add a what we call a traveling bar cutter. Now, traveling is kind of an old school. I've been around a few decades, so traveling is something I'm familiar with. But the concept of traveling is that the knife travels the same speed as the product, and it allows you to get in and out of the product more square. So you create a square shaped cut. Or you could add a plastic, we call it a crimper system. If you're doing something like a breakfast bar where the jelly is not heat stable, wants to leak out, it helps seal it in. A lot of times I like to have that visual. So it crimps the ends, still give you the visual of jelly inside the middle, and allows you to go ahead and crimp the pieces as it goes through the oven and bake it properly. That's the difference between something like a breakfast bar versus a fig bar. Fig bar comes through a whole rope and cut post oven, and you get a nicer clean cut at the end of the oven. Where breakfast bars, you're typically crimping prior, and same with a lot of new protein bars.
And as we know, precision and accuracy are a very important factor when it comes to commercial production. And another big component for cookie and bar manufacturers is maximizing product consistency while maintaining an efficient, high-speed process. So, can you dive into some of the key design elements behind the wire cut machine that helps bakers achieve consistent weights and shapes at such a high volume?
Kind of the biggest thing we did with our new wire cut, the Genesis Pro WCX wire cut, was to go ahead and come up with a better concept on how to cut it. So what we did was we replaced all the cams, the eccentrics, the bearings with linear servo motors, washed down linear servo motors. So we have two for the stroke and two for the cut. And it allows you to create a cut profile. We call it a cam profile engineering, but for our world, it's a cut profile. So it allows you to develop the stroke, the drop. In some cases, we use a term called upshoot, where you're coming up to the cut and trying to create a cleaner cut. So nice thing about having a linear servo motor is that it's all programmable. So you got everything set. You got a cam profile concept in the recipe. You can adjust the stroke, the drop, the upshoot on the fly. Back in the days, you would have to stop the machine, retime everything if something was off, or make the changes after a stop. But you can do this all while it's in operation. And the nice thing about it, you can save it as a recipe. Eliminates all the bearings in the mechanism. The wire cut itself mechanism is the heartbeat of the machine. It cuts the cookies, cuts the shapes, and it allows you to make adjustments faster and then save those adjustments in a recipe for later use. I call that the mouse milk of the machine. That to me is what makes that machine special.
Oh, yeah. Talk about efficient that you're able to do all of these things and you don't have to risk downtime. Like, that's incredible.
Yeah. The other thing I'd like to add on, which I think is even more special, is that now we can offer ultrasonic cutting systems mounted in that. So we design our wire cut mechanism strong enough to handle the mass flow of an ultrasonic cutter. The ultrasonic cutter, in my play view, takes place of what the infamous oscillating knife they used, the vibratory knife they used to help shake cookies off. It cuts a very clean cookie. And we're finding that we're getting up to speeds of 180 cuts per minute. So it's a very unique system that I don't know anybody else who is offering it at the speeds we're doing. We believe it's the next generation, next wave of wire cut usage.
That is incredible. Okay, so I want to go back to something you had mentioned earlier. You had mentioned the modularity design, where bakers can add features as needed. So, how can this tool benefit overall production?
We're coming up with a machine that doesn't mean you have to spend all the money, the big dollars up front. We're trying to make it affordable so you can go ahead and be good for today, but flexible for the future. So that's the biggest key on our modularity. That's the biggest excitement I have. And that's the same thing I talk to our guys all the time. It's about what they're doing in 10 years from now.
Okay, so I just have one last question for you. What is the best way for a baker to get in touch with Reading to learn more about the WCX wire cut machine?
Well, I'm available anytime. I'm always open for conversation. As you can guess, I enjoy talking about wire cuts and cookies. Reading Bakery will be at Interpack, and we are taking our Genesis Pro WCX wire cut to the show. We're excited about getting that ready for the show, discussing it and sharing it with the customer base. And as well as reach out to our website anytime. There's a Reading sales rep, employee service tech somewhere nearby you.
Well, Sam, thank you so much for your time today. I really enjoyed talking to you about the whole gamut of capabilities that this machine has. This is really some fascinating stuff.
Maddie, I appreciate the opportunity to talk about it, and I'm very excited about this machine. I think this machine will help develop and grow the snack market.
I agree.